Welcome to the Principal Podcast, where we talk about how the best professional services firms grow. Whether you're looking to scale your firm or learn from the stories of founders and leaders who've done it, you're in the right place. Join us as we interview the best leaders in professional services. Let's get on with the show.
Hey, we're lucky today to be on with a person from Gig Talent, Jamie, who is going to explain to us what really is going on in terms of her business and what she does. And we're going to ask her some questions to really get a more in-depth understanding of what Jamie brings to the table in her company at Gig Talent. And it's pretty unique from what I've done my research on. So, Jamie, why don't you share with us a little bit about what originally got you into consulting first and foremost, and then organizational leadership work, because that's pretty challenging. Tell me about your background.
Thanks, Dennis. Happy to be here. Yeah, so I had a really amazing corporate career with large global Fortune 50 organizations and fast-growing startups. And I left corporate in 2018 with the intention to build something bigger than myself. But at the time, I didn't really know what it was. So I started doing transformation and organizational culture consulting. I wrote a book on culture, and I teach in the Masters of HR program at USC. And as I was doing that, I had a bunch of friends who were CHROs and other HR leaders who said, I want to do what you're doing, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid of sales and business development. I just want to do the work that I love and I'm really great at. And at the same time, there were laws in California changing around how companies engage with independent contractors. And as those two things were colliding, I was like, we can solve this. We can create something that really solves something for all the different stakeholders. And that's where Gig Talent was born. And so now we've got a collective of over 100 independent, I call them executive entrepreneurs, people who have been successful executives and gone out on their own, and really specialize in transformation, organizational excellence.
Well, the thing that's interesting with what your model is, you got people from what it looks like, a lot of fractional experts that come in, and you guys can coordinate when you go to your client. And it looks like from what you believe, what I've read, is that you prefer to have some experts in different areas, and then they can come in and do a specific job for a company or a client of yours, versus trying to have a mass, I'm going to do it all at one time, a big approach. And how is that working? Are your clients finding it, having that special, pragmatized, fractional approach working well for you?
Yeah, I think that companies and leaders are starting to understand that, not every job is a full-time role, right? We used to put a job description together and then say, this is a unicorn, can you find this person? Now you can actually just get the people who love to do and are really great at the specific things that you need them to do. So we help our clients really get that right person right away. We've already done the vetting. We know who's good at what. We've done the background checks, the reference checks, all the things. So we make it really easy. And then we really help to understand exactly what they need and then make that match, and somebody can start right away. And then they have control over cost too, because of instead of paying like a fixed salary, an annual salary and bonus and all of that, you just pay for what you need. And so you have more control over those expenses to get the right work done at the right time. And so our clients are loving that. I do think we launched in 2019 before COVID, and at that point we were explaining the idea of fractional a little bit, but now I think people understand, and especially now they're looking at agentic, how work gets done in total. So full-time people, agentic technology, and then of course Gig Talent, and they're understanding that puzzle actually has a lot more opportunity than they might have considered previously.
What you do is, like you say, you fill a puzzle piece. You can figure and look at the full picture and say, I don't have to give you the whole puzzle. You don't need 300 pieces, but I got 3 or 4 right here that'll fit perfectly.
Right.
It's clever. So when you look at your clients and you feel, what problems are you solving for them? And how does that make you feel personally orchestrating this whole thing?
Well, I love the work that we do. I think that for me, the opportunity to help companies really think proactively about being really high performing, how they distinguish themselves from competitors, how they attract and retain the best talent, which is how they bring their business strategies to life. To me, that is why we're in business, right? Is to be successful. And I think that people are personally motivated when they can contribute to something that has purpose. So that's, whether it's winning, the purpose of the organization, the cause that the impact that they have on society. Just in general, people want to be productive. They want to use their time in ways that have an impact and do good work with good people. So for me, I feel really inspired by helping companies adjust to the many changes that are happening right now. It's happening, obviously, technology-wise, the workforce preferences, the workforce composition, the speed of change, what leadership is, what the workforce is demanding for leaders today, and then those actual leaders on their own journey, right? Because we're all people too. And so for me, enabling that leaning into the change and bringing in sometimes that external lens that can help leaders see things within their own system they might not see when you're part of it, to me, that's hugely valuable.
The fascinating part about what you're doing is you're also embracing, like you said, the rapid change of technology and what it means today, and anxiety for people, opportunity for people, different ways you could approach the whole thing. And if you guys blend it in well with the clients you work with, you're solving a big problem for them. Really fun. When you look at the companies you're pursuing and going to work with, the first and foremost, how do you figure out who's a decision maker in those accounts, and who do you go after in your accounts to try and get the best return?
Yeah, we're really fortunate. So most of the time it's senior leaders. They come really cross-functionally. So often it could be a CEO, it could be a CHRO or chief people officer. And now even through transformation leaders, AI activation leaders, or CIOs and technology leaders, because transformation today is absolutely a cross-functional job, and whether depending on where they're starting or maybe who's driving it within an organization, they quickly recognize this is a people shift. And so we really have the credibility of decades of years of experience in helping organizations with organizational transformation, designing how work gets done, and change management, and just general leadership. So we've got that, and now we have a partnership with a company called Wallaby that was founded by Pedro Arellano, who actually ran Tableau. And when you think about credibility from a data and technology and AI side of the house, now together we've got the credibility around transformation in full, regardless of where they're starting. So we for us, it's clients who recognize that they are either evolving, growing, or changing, and recognize the value of having expertise to help them navigate that or augment their internal teams.
And then from a point of view, how do you get those clients? Is it through seminars you do? Do you do email campaigns? Do you do sessions where you have people who will come to a meeting area and you're part of a group specializing in what you do?
Yeah,
what's the way you attract your clients?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it continues to evolve. So we really value authentic relationships, and so we try to start there. We're involved in the communities that we're part of, whether that's professional organizations where I speak at a lot of different engagements. We do host events, so we host executive think tanks where executive teams can come in and actually work issues that they're doing, and we facilitate that with gig talent consultants. We host executive dinners. So we do those things. We've recently expanded our sales team. And so we're trying some new campaigns, leveraging our presence on LinkedIn and some email type campaigns, along with basic newsletters and those kinds of things. And we're still learning, right? And adjusting.
Yeah, sure.
I think people are pretty bombarded with data today, so we're sensitive to that.
Tell me about your referral network. I imagine you have a pretty vast one from all your contacts from USC, in addition to what you guys have established for your clients. So I know you do a podcast, the Courageous podcast. I'm pretty interested about that. Tell me, does that help you grow your business, or is it more for education?
Yeah. I started the Courageous Choice really just to help us get some interesting content. Our guests are like amazing people, and so that was kind of where it started. And this year we've started to look at how can we put more strategy around that to really drive I guess, brand awareness and then value to the listeners. And I just think that if you can do that, if you truly add value, then people will be interested in reaching back out. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I probably underutilized it initially.
Okay.
And I do think that it's an opportunity for different consultants and firms to kind of position themselves, share their expertise, their knowledge, and
Right.
just genuinely add value. And that's what will attract, the right people who want what they have.
In particular, when you talk about, and you were spot on when you said growing your brand, and more importantly, being able to, when you bring on quality guests, like it sounds like you have access to, them joining you establishes your credibility within their network as well, and so it exponentially will grow. And I think podcasting is something that you might want to look at, and we'll talk about some ideas we have on that might benefit you guys. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to hearing about that. We know it's something we're underutilizing.
Tell me about in your transformation work. That can be a long selling cycle. I mean, when you've got people who are willing to say, okay, I want to do this differently altogether, we got to integrate all these new things and new approaches. How long is your sales cycle to get a client to realize, okay, we've been doing it this way traditionally. Now, if we look at bringing in Jamie and her group, we now got to look at segments, not necessarily the aggregate. And so when you do that, how long is that convincing them that you have to change your mindset and how you make a standard decision?
Yeah, I mean, we can do the full set transformation and certainly set that out. But I think that right now at this moment, a lot of organizations are hesitant. They're hesitant to, because they can't necessarily see the end. It's not exactly from this to that. And so it is a longer sales cycle. And where we're finding success is like, let's start with alignment. Let's start with understanding your business objectives and what differentiates your business. And then we can kind of come up with a plan, whether it's, AI activation and really looking at the kind of the biggest areas of ROI, and just start and also communicate, have an overarching communication strategy internally and potentially externally, but certainly internally, to help alleviate the fear, right? In the absence of communication, people are kind of making up things, which often is worse than what might actually be happening. So those are things that we're helping people just get started on right away. What we're finding is by breaking it down, that is helpful.
Well, the good part, too, is if you get your foot in the door and you establish and get one thing and it's accomplished, check it off, and now you have a proven credibility, a proof source, right. What many people call, hey, there's a hero file. I just did something well right there. You saw it, you witnessed it. It isn't theoretical, it's practical and it's real. You just observed it and you experienced it. I think that's smart by trying to get in and then do one thing and do it well. Then you can expand and can do from that point forward. The decision makers that you deal with, like you mentioned, they're varied. They're going to be all over the board. Tell me about company size. Who do you like to target as a potential client? Is it that 1 to 50 employees, at 50 to 100, or 100 to 500? Tell me who your target audiences are.
Well, I think we're best positioned as the transformation partner for mid-market. They're often growing. They don't necessarily want to partner with the McKinseys and the Deloittes, but they don't want to compromise the caliber and the experience. So they really value the demonstrated, thousands of hours that our consultants have done the work, and also they're not removed from it, right? They're not really traditional consultants. They're people who have navigated the complexity and sat in the seat, so they can really understand what these businesses are navigating and these leaders are navigating. So typically organizations come to us that I would say are at least 100 and growing.
Okay.
And all the way up to 10,000. We really are able to either put the right consultant together or the right team together to help them navigate. The super enterprise level, for those, we end up working more at like a department or team level rather than at the full enterprise level, just because, again, they tend to go to the huge firms when they need full transformation.
Let me ask you a question. I'm always curious, in any business I talk to people on, why would someone work with gig talent versus another company in a somewhat similar space of provided services? Tell me the differential.
The differential is just really clear. So it's people who have been successful working in organizations in whatever function they were great at. They were so good and confident and wanted to apply their skills in different ways that they've created their own practices. Our clients come to Gig because we've done the work to really organize who's good, what they're good at. We make it easy for them to get this talent in a compliant way, and we're really trusted partners. So when you talk to our clients, they trust that we understand their business, that we can meet them where they are, that we're not going to oversell or give them like a pretty PowerPoint deck that they can't implement, and that we're going to be partners with them on their journey. And because we have such a wide vast of skills and experience within the collective, we really are able to help them as they navigate, the work starting from where they are today and where they'll end up as their business continues to evolve.
Think about, you're like going into a high-end restaurant like Mille Fleur, if you want to, in Rancho Santa Fe. Your menu is vast and all good stuff's on there. You're not going into Burger King. You're going into a quality dining experience when you work with you guys because of your menu.
I love that.
There's a good analogy for you to remember. Go to Mille Fleur. But anyway, you know the idea what I'm talking about. And the main point is that you really have a la carte specialties. I mean, you've got these things that you do and do very well. I would think one thing that would differentiate anything is your people. I mean, it's your people.
100%.
It's your team. I mean, that's the biggest differentiator because practical real-world experience is invaluable. It really is. There are so many people who
Our tagline is all the best people. That's
there you go. Love
all
it.
the best people.
Love it.
Yeah.
There you go. And the people have lived in their shoes. That's huge from a credibility point of view. Looking as you try and expand and grow, not only in 26, but going forward in the next 3 years, forecasting out through the next 3 years to the 2030 timeframe, what are your biggest challenges to establish the growth you desire?
I think, there's when we launched, we were really early movers. And when you look at the competitive landscape today, there's a lot of noise around fractional. And so, really being able to differentiate in that is important. And then to your point, we offer a lot of things. And while that, I think at the end of the day is actually really valuable, and the fact that we're that concierge level partner with our clients to, take it from complex to simple is hugely valuable. Trying to express that in a way that is like, yes, we can solve this problem and we can solve that problem. And, that can be challenging to really have a clear narrative so people understand this is going on, call Gig Talent. And so really getting that clear and getting our message clear and helping people understand, look, we really are the agency of the best talent. And when you have a challenge, anything related to people, organization, how work gets done, you need a leader, you need somebody to facilitate a strategic offsite, a business consultant, call Jamie and the team. They're going to help you figure out exactly what you need and get you options immediately.
Yeah, the thing that I would be, if I was in your shoes, I'd be looking at, I've got so much to offer. I've got such a vast capability. I need to make sure I have that quality audience with the right person who's the decision maker so I can target, here's where I start, like you were talking, Jamie. That's so critical, that starting point. Because if you pick the right thing to start with, then the other things will flow naturally after that, I would imagine. If you pick the wrong one, then oh man, I should have gone this way first. So how do you navigate through those challenges?
We're learning. We're learning. My background is not sales, and so really just those authentic connections. But it's like you're saying, in those initial meetings, you don't always have time to get to the second and third level of discovery, and so trying to be more informed on the front end and ask questions rather than try to kind of go in with a formed pitch so that we can really adjust to what's important.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that because you got so much to offer. It's exciting to talk about it, so your tendency is to want to overwhelm them with all the capabilities that you provide. Don't do that. You want to make sure you sit back.
It's tempting, and we know it doesn't work. So.
Oh, it's real hard. hard not to, because you're proud of what you built. I mean, good gosh, who wouldn't be? I would be. But the tendency to tell takes away your ability to sell. So always remember that. So when you look about, when you think about your future over the next years, and you can only be, and what is your main focal point as the leader? Do you coordinate the team? Do you contact the client and then someone else takes over? Tell me the role you're playing right now, and how much time do you have to really grow if you're tied up with other areas? Tell me what your
our
function.
internal team has actually doubled in the last 3 months. So we're in the process of really getting clarity around roles and responsibilities, which is pushing me to, ensure I'm kind of playing at the right level. So for me, as things settle, I should be really focused on outreach, on speaking, on getting the message out there, and really, creating that confidence and market positioning as thought leaders because of the great experience of our collective. So I view my job as kind of that evangelist and ensuring that we deliver to our clients what we say we're going to deliver. Right now, I actually love the work, so I'm happy to kind of have some of those initial shaping calls with clients. I'll come in where they're not sure what they need and help clarify, be kind of a strategist, thought partner for them in that initial diagnosis. But we've built great internal processes, leveraging AI and technology on the matching side. That's all internal. We don't want to be, we're not a technology company, although we are technology empowered.
Right.
My job is to continue to just drive those opportunities. Success is bringing the right work for the right people and delivering to our clients.
Do all those things properly, and good things will continue. So we're wrapping up here, and Jamie, what I'd love to do is have you now share, how can people who see this podcast, how can they reach you? Tell us what's the best method to reach you and your company.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Well, we would love to have people reach out to us. Our website is gigtalentagency.com. There's a form there. If you fill it out, let us know what you're looking for, what kind of conversation you'd like to have, and we're happy to have those conversations. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. And we really are having conversations on both sides. So clients and organizations that are navigating change and transformation and want really high-performing HR teams and don't necessarily know what that looks like, or maybe know they have a gap and want the right partner. We're having those conversations. And then also for leaders who are considering maybe a second act or how they can apply their skills in new ways, either as part of the gig economy or just what I call preferment. Most people aren't retiring and sitting on the couch eating bonbons. There's some stage of what's next, and we're happy to have those conversations as well.
Wonderful. I've enjoyed it, Jamie. I hope you have as well. Hopefully I asked some questions that made you think a little bit, but shared great information, and we thank you for that.
Thanks
so
so
you
much,
have
Dennis.
a
Pleasure.
wonderful rest of your day. All righty.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Principal Podcast. We hope you've learned valuable lessons and strategies to grow your firm and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.